Hey, everybody.
Okay. Brother Washington.
Oh, you know what? Hey, look, this is what happens when people don't do their jobs, all right? There's usually a countdown, and since I'm the oldest, I need to be prepped for everything. So they didn't give me a countdown. They didn't point to my watch, my Timex watch, all right? They didn't do anything. They didn't point to my bottle of Geritol that's right over there, all right? So listen, I want to welcome everybody to the CSRN Video Minutes. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN along with Jabril Bey, Mike Leonardi. My gender pronouns are he and him, and I have on a beige hat. I've got a kind of a tan or kind of brown hoodie on. Yeah, my eyesight's going too. And I got a pink Julian Mac for city council because they had a ton of those left after the election, so I could really pretty much grab 10 or 20 of them for myself. Hey, listen, love that you joined us today, and if you can, post in the comments. We'll be looking at the comments. We'll be able to interact with you while we talk about some of the things that's happened last week, some of the things that we've got planned in the weeks ahead. And also, as always, I'm dedicated and committed to defending and protecting all Black bodies. We're going to start with Jody. He'll introduce himself and he'll read our mission statement. Jody?
All righty, everybody. And see, that's why you have to have some humor in life. Because everything's not scripted. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. It could just be you starting a show laughing. I honestly wish some shows would honestly start laughing because the way the material and everything is set up. But either way, my name is Jody. I go by J. Summers, Child of the System, or better known as Spoken Truth. I'm here to read our mission statement for you. I am a cinnamon tongue, brown skinned man that is covered in bands and jewelry and crystals from around the world in my travels as an artist. I have clothing on that is from my city itself. The hat is from Filthy Feathers. My pronouns are him, he, and we. And let's see, I got a shirt on that is a whole bunch of letters and stuff, and it's in the shape of a black fist, kind of reminiscent of the art style that I do myself. So, this is our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, the Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, class, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Hey, thank you, Jody. What we're going to do right now, we're going to pass it to Ruth Leonard, who is the lead of our administrative corps and an awesome leader that she is. Ruth, do you mind going over our CSRN guiding principles?
Not at all. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women's lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children's lives. All Black lives matter and are creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we are currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be part of all our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love. Self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundation of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership, at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
And for those who are just tuning in, my name is Ruth Leonard. I am a dark brown sugar complected woman with a full burgundy afro. I am wearing a cream colored sweater with a bright red apple with a green leaf and a brown stem in the middle.
All right. Well, all right then. All right. We want to go ahead and get started. If you notice that Julian Mack is not with us right now, as always, Julian is busy working hard to assist us in liberating our people and spreading the message that all Black Lives Matter. And he'll be, joining us soon. Really want to start with Ruth. We have a couple of things that I've been asked about. People scroll down our page and you might see a lot of things that we've done and some of the things that we have coming up. Two of the things that we've been championing in for the past 2 months is the revival of our Citizens Review Board, and also the addition to what we do. We have our weekly teaching. So if you don't mind, Ruth, if you could talk about really whatever you want, but what people are asking me about is our teaching. So many people saw Dr. P. So many people saw Nick Comize, council member Nick Comize, and just chalked it down that I said council member. All right. So those of you those that know, now you know. If you could shed some light on the movement of the review board, on our weekly teaching, and really how did the weekly teachings even come about?
Alrighty. So in regards to our Civilian Review Board, we are still in the process of collecting signatures. If you go to change.org and you type in Mayor Wade Capsicavage, you will be able to find our petition in order to have a Civilian Review Board that has teeth. In addition to us creating this petition, we are also working very closely with Council Member Nick Comize to draft the language that can be presented to City Council in order to make sure that we can have some form of legislation that goes on the books that is ensuring the safety and the accountability of all members of the Toledo Police Department, as well as members of the community. If you were with us a few weeks ago, then you were able to see Councilmember Nick Comize discuss the Toledo Police Department budget. He went into great detail, and we are so very thankful as CSRN for his time and his effort and his work that he put into creating that PowerPoint. And he actually gave us a lot of really good information that we can use not only with members of City Council, but with all elected officials. If you check our Facebook page, you can see the 10 steps to keep your elected officials accountable to you as the people who put them into those offices. A couple of weeks ago, or I'm sorry, maybe 2 weeks ago, we had Dr. P show up and show out with her presentation on critical race theory. Now, critical race theory has received a lot of attention in the past few weeks due to the executive order that came from the federal level. And because of that, we wanted to make sure that we were still continuing to beat the drum for all people to know what critical race theory is and what it is not. There was a impassioned discussion that was held between myself, Dr. P, as well as all of the members of the CSRN family who tuned in that evening to have an opportunity to ask questions about how Dr. P felt about where we are as a culture in regards to critical race theory, in regards to critical race theorists, as well as in regards to just local politics and how they work not only on an elected level, but also workplace politics, or the politics of being Black, or the politics of being a woman. So we are once again very thankful to Dr. P for coming to speak with us about that. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., we will have the incomparable Rashaya G to come and speak with us about the history of policing. We've had, I've been able to hear Rashaya or Shai speak about the history of policing, and oftentimes when other people talk about it, it's glossed over, and I'm guilty of this as well, of simply saying, oh, you have slave patrols and then you have police officers. But there is an intentional historical timeline, if you will, that you can trace, and she traces it, and she will hopefully trace it again tomorrow, to show how police officers and the career choice of a policeman has been articulated to be used to keep Black individuals in a subservient position. So we are so excited, not only for the past talk-ins that we've had, but for the talk-ins that we have upcoming. So if you have not already registered, you can go to either Eventbrite and type in CSRN Teaching History of Policing, and you can register there. You can register on the CSRN website, csrntoledo.com. You can register on the CSRN Facebook page. If you go to the event page, there are 3 different ways for you to register. There will be multiple ways for you to watch, but we want to keep a track of how many people are anticipating this talk. It's one thing for you to show up when the event already starts, but we want to know how many people are excited to hear this information. We want to get to a concrete number so that we can say that these individuals bring out this much enthusiasm, and we can't do that without your input. So we need you to go and register. The other thing we need you to do is to visit, what's the website for the billboard? GoFundMe. Yes, go to GoFundMe, and you can just type in, I believe it's Black Lives Matter Billboard campaign, and you can donate to that campaign. We are still fundraising. We need to raise $900 in order to be able to move our billboard from the corner of
Detroit and Monroe
to
Anthony Wayne Trail in Collingwood.
Yes. So we can't do that without your donations. And so please, please, please go and donate to our GoFundMe, as well as visiting the brand new CSRN website. If you go to csrntoledo.com, you can click on Shop CSRN, and you can see all of the new stuff that we have. The newest thing that we've got in are our glass eco-friendly water bottles with our CSRN logo on them. They are retailing for about $20. Yes, and all of the proceeds will go towards the billboard.
Okay. Hey, look, we're going to take a couple of minutes, take a break. Hang with us, and we will be right back.
I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Hey, we're back. We're back. Hey, thanks for joining us again. As always, it's Brother Washington, CSRN, our video minutes. This segment, we're going to talk about CSRN in election 2020. Why you should be registered to vote. We're going to talk about the census. Why is it important for you to fill out the census? Ruth, we've got two things that we want to discuss. And also, we got to discuss our store at CSRN.com. We want to talk about our billboard fundraiser that you can find on our page. Just scroll down. We're going to try to pin it to the top. And if you want to know more about the Refund Toledo, hey, you can go to my page. I just posted our QR scanner. Just put your phone over the scanner. Hey, if you're looking at it on your phone, but anyway, you know what to do. Hey, listen, Ruth, regarding Census 2020, regarding registering to vote, regardless if people want to vote for their own self-interest, why is it important to register? Why is it important to fill out the census?
Alrighty, so registering to vote is just one of the toolkit, or one of the tools in the revolutionary toolkit. You can protest, you can write letters, you can stand on the corner, you can do just about anything you can possibly think of to make a change. But voting is the one time when your voice carries the most weight. And the reason why is because your vote is so powerful that it can be used to give other people power. Okay, when you think about it, you are responsible for who holds positions, whether it's the president of the United States or the president of student council in your child's elementary school. Your voice carries weight. So when you look at things like juries, right? You get selected for jury duty, I believe, by registering to vote. And yeah, it's one of the ways. But when you look at how these juries come out, when they don't come out in a way that you wanted it to happen, you have to realize that you are missing an opportunity to let your voice be heard by, number one, not holding the person accountable who was able to make the final decision. So that means the judges, the prosecutors, who else? Judges and prosecutors. Council members. You have to also recognize that when things don't go your way, say in how things are happening in your neighborhood, that there is already a selection of people, a committee, if you will, of people who make those decisions, who are elected into those positions, that you have a say in who's in that spot. I mean, prime example, when city council had those 4 seats up, over 120 some odd people wanted those positions. And each one of those people had a group of people that they felt like they could count on to put them in that spot. And those are the same people who will need to be counted on in order to elect someone else, point blank, period. Because at the end of the day, we all want changes for our community to be done for good. And that can only happen when you exercise your right to vote. Okay.
The census.
When it comes to the census is how trillions of dollars are spent in the United States. It's based on who's in those neighborhoods. It's based on how many people they are anticipating on still being there 10 years from now. The census decides how many schools are going to need to be built. The census decides whether or not there need to be grocery stores. The census decides how many people are necessary to go into Congress and how many representatives that you can have for your particular state. The census decides how lines are drawn for district representation. The census is so much more than just you telling that you live in this house with X amount of people. The census dictates what your life is going to look like 10 years from now. And you need to be able to, once again, exercise your right to be counted. You matter. You matter. If you didn't matter, it would not be that big of a deal. If it didn't matter, then you wouldn't have people in court fighting to extend the census, which they successfully have done. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't have people fighting for the right to vote and holding elected officials accountable and making sure that that voter suppression is put out on the forefront. You matter as an individual, and the fact that you exist in this world at this very moment means that you should count, and you have to exercise your right to vote, to make sure that your voice is heard, and you also need to exercise your right to be counted in the census to make sure that the future looks better and brighter.
Before we take before we break again, I wanted to bring up our website, CSRN.com. We've got a lot of things on our website that you can get that will assist us in doing everything that we do, from getting our billboard put up to assisting other groups in doing this type of work, and also assisting other non-profits that are trying to make a difference in our community. Ruth, what are some of the things that we have on our at the CSRN store?
So in the CSRN store, so again, just in today, we have our CSRN glass eco-friendly water bottles with our logo.
That's awesome.
We also have stickers. Very nice 4x4 stickers. They can go anywhere. They can go on your laptop. They can go, in Julian's case, on your car. They can go, you can put them on your doors. Anywhere you can put a sticker, on notebooks, just to let people know that you represent CSRN. We have wristbands. So we have My Words Only, which would be Jody's wristbands, as well as our All Black Lives Matter wristbands. And then, of course, buttons. Lots and lots and lots of buttons. Okay? And then we also have, which is also very new to the CSRN store, we have these awesome keychains. And the keychains are, as you can tell, they are clear, but they are also pretty awesome. You can see they have the fist in the middle. They say CSRN. So if you visit CSRNtoledo.com and go to shop CSRN, then you can see all the different things we have in our store. We also have the yard signs available in our store.
All right.
And there's one more thing too, which is
yes.
on our website, but we will talk to them about partnership with that. Gathered Glass in Toledo, Ohio. They are still making the glass black fists. So if you want to hop over to them, they help out other community and nonprofit organizations with the proceeds from those glass fists going around.
And where are they located? Is it Gathered Glass?
Gathered Glass downtown. I cannot think of their exact address.
All right.
But they have been tagged in our post before.
Awesome. We're going to have to find out where they are, because we need to send some people there.
Yes.
All right, hey, Ruth, let's take a short break. We're going to come back with Jody. He's going to talk about some of the community shout-outs and some solutions to the things that are happening in our community. Look, come on back. Stay tuned. CSRN.
Yeah.
Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right. That's really my part. But anyway, hey, listen, welcome back. As we said earlier when we started, you might have thought that your screen needed adjusting because you didn't see Julian. No, he was on his way back from liberating our people, and he's here. Julian, I know you're coming in hot. We put you right in the hot seat. We want to talk to you about some of the community action and direct action that's been happening in Toledo, some of the things that we participated in, some of the things that we supported, and also, we asked Ruth, why is it important for us to register to vote, regardless if somebody want to vote their interest, but why is it important? So my first thing, community action, direct action, what are some of the things that we've been involved with? What are some of the things that you've seen others involved?
Yeah, so one of the things we did this week is we partnered up with the Freedom Block, which is a statewide organization of Black folks in various different cities, Columbus, Cleveland, Akron, Dayton, and of course Toledo, to have a forum about the local elections and what people were voting in. Ours was last Thursday. It is on our page. And we did send a certified letter to all the candidates for them to send in a brief video about themselves. And we also discussed, what it means for what those positions and what those elected officials would mean to our particular community. And, there's a lot of discussion going on right now about the presidential election. Understandably so. This is the most important election in a long time. Possibly of our lifetimes. And, it's really important that we do participate in the election by getting this neo-fascist out of the White House. But there's also other elections that are very important as well. I mean, we have opportunity to have a Black community-oriented sheriff. We've had 45 sheriffs in Lucas County's history. None of them have been Black. We have an opportunity to change that this year. And amidst all of the racial unrest, justified racial unrest, I think it's important for us to have someone in our community that participates in our community, that understands our community, serve as sheriff. Very few communities have that opportunity, so I suggest you participate in that election. We also have a city council election that I am not in, right? I won't be on the ballot until next year, but we have somebody that's directly aligned with the police union, and we have somebody that is not. The police union, the Toledo Police Patrolmen's Association, has been in direct conflict with many of our initiatives and is serving currently as a barrier to many of the criminal justice reforms and progress that we're trying to make. So it makes sense to not vote for the person that's endorsed by the police union, meaning Dia. And these are my opinions, but they're in alignment with our principles. And so I'm going to go ahead and say it, what needs to be said. We also have a county commissioner race with someone who is unapologetically for Donald Trump, a fascist authoritarian on that level. We have a person that has admitted that they don't believe racism is an issue in Lucas County. We have someone who has tried to be an ally for Black lives, and is listened to us on a county level. So I mean, I would recommend voting against Ron Murphy and voting for Pete Durkin, right? Someone who comes from that activist mold. These are important, very important races, right? City council is affecting how much your water is. If your water gets cut on or cut off in the middle of a pandemic, water affects your day-to-day life. When we talk about the issues with our incarcerated brothers and sisters that have yet to be proven of any type of guilt, and the way that they're treated, that's directly connected to the Lucas County Sheriff and the way that those facilities are ran is directly connected to the county commissioner's office and how much funding gets diverted to that or does not get diverted to that. This affects your day-to-day life, and it's very important for you to participate in these elections. So, if you have any other questions about that, or if you would like to hear more commentary, you can go to see what me and Ruth's thoughts were with the conversation with the Freedom Block. Also, very important, if you are interested in running for office or are interested in helping a candidate run for office, the Freedom Block is offering campaign training on and around elections. A lot of times with elections, they say, here's this literature, go knock on this door. And as Black folks, it can be a little bit insulting because we know we have the capacity for so much more. I don't need to just knock on your door. I can be the candidate myself, right? Or I don't need to just knock on your door. I can put together the literature that gets passed out. But far too often, we're looked over in these positions and our voices aren't heard. And honestly, part of that is because we don't have the training. Well, we have an opportunity to have that training, to build that Black political power ourselves, and even for allies, for them to get that type of training that they need. So message us, or you can go directly to the Freedom Block, and we want to get you plugged in because shortly after this election, that training is going to get started, and we want to make sure that the people in our community here in Toledo have the tools necessary to be able to run for office if that's what they want to do, or be able to assist and put together a team to run for office and make sure that you have the skills you need in order to fully participate in this electoral process.
All right. We wanted to bring up Jody, so I'm trying to find out if Ruth wants us to take a short break and come back, or if we're going to bring Jody on.
I think we can take a commercial break. That was a lot for people to absorb. Give them a chance to, Okay,
so well, let's
get that in.
All right. Well, hey, if Jody says it, hey, it's got to go down. So if we could take 30 seconds, we're going to come back, talk about community solutions and shout outs and how art plays a part in that. So join us back. 30 seconds, CSRN.
Sit in the middle.
All right. Hey, welcome. We're back. CSRN. It's Brother Washington. I'm with Jody Summers, Jay Summers, Child of the System. We're going to talk about, Jody, community solutions and shout outs. Some of the things that you've been involved with regarding social justice, some of the events that you've attended to help make our community a safe and decent place to live. And also, how does art have a place in that? And also there's rumors of you working with folks at the library, the main branch, and I don't know how that's possible, all right, but I guess it is what it is. Jody, what are some of the things that you've seen? What are some of the events that you've been involved with regarding improving our communities, and who are the movers and shakers out here that's making it happen?
Well, as always, it's me, my camera, and what I get to share with the world and stuff and some of the events. A lot of people ask me, how do I get to be so many places? And it's because I want to be there. There's you learn to make less excuses in life when you decide what you want to do. And I like being at community events. I like seeing what portion actually wanted to be there. I know we're in the middle of pandemic, so crowd numbers or people really doing stuff that impacts them other than taking a drink or going to a party or something like that isn't great. But we need to know, how do we fix these community issues that we
Right.
have within our neighborhoods.
Right.
And I went to one this weekend, which is the second one of the HEAL event. I can't remember what the exact letters stand for, but the event is HEAL, held by a friend of mine, actually a whole bunch of community members,
Right.
but one of them, Malik, who still getting used to it. This is his second one, but we used to be bouncers at nightclubs
Oh,
years ago. So in transitioning from that lifestyle and stuff that we did when we were younger, running away from officers, to now officers showing up to our events.
Right.
Not with handcuffs. Well, they have handcuffs, but not trying to put handcuffs on nobody.
right.
Is a good thing. So it's taking place throughout the parks. This one was Savage Park. We had community resources out there like voting, and we had awesome DJ. He's DJ before us on some of our BLM events. Gutter Dave was out there trying to encourage the kids. There was a giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have been City Park League, Montrese, but then I know he was there.
Right.
But we had like a giveaway for kids.
That's right.
Social distance basketball, and I think we gave away all the gift baskets that we had. It was really nice. I mean, again, we're in the time of pandemic, and some people have kind of gotten all that locked up in the house out of their system and are now trying to knuckle down for winter.
That's right.
It is kind of scary being out because the reasons that we were there is to stop kids from shooting each other, which isn't a color thing. It's of where you're at in society and what opportunities you have. So it's a chance for people to get back opportunities, since we don't have a youth commission or something for them to have done had this not been pandemic, being outside. And you get outside, you get angry, you can't do nothing. You see family going through stuff, people losing their lives. So there's no educating children. If now everything's on virtual, yes, I'm glad kids are kind of going back to school. I'm a little split on that, but
Right.
after school, what do you do? And the kids that can't afford or haven't gotten the equipment to go to school, parents got jobs. Parents have full-time lives. So everybody that was involved, I thank you for being there. They had food and some other stuff like that. And then we got still the other organizations
Right.
that are doing stuff like Tremaine Rayford with the program. I almost remembered your name. Eventually I'm going to get it. But he has that mechanics thing going
Right.
on. You still have, there's a Chris McBrayer who's doing stuff. I don't believe he's doing the Sundays, but the Arts Commission is doing stuff with young artists. And I'm segueing into that section too. But shout out to everybody, 419 The Grind, Tracy, which is on the other spectrum of entertainment, but he still has a nightclub with a patio. I'm actually headed over there after this video to celebrate a birthday of my friend.
I wasn't invited, but okay, all right. Hey,
But he's trying to keep it blues, jazz,
okay,
age appropriate, where you're not coming in just to get messed up. You're coming in to get vibes and good vibrations and stuff like that.
hey, I just looked at Chris McBraer's post. He is having the men's empowerment,
Okay.
and they're going to be learning how to paint.
Awesome.
all right.
See?
So show up at Bancroft, Detroit, Sunday. I think it's 4 p.m.
Okay.
But check Chris McBraer's page.
Yep, and
all
we'll
right.
try and post it
Check
on
his
our
page. All right. Check his page.
So leading to that with painting and stuff, as you mentioned, yes, the other day I actually finalized, which for me it's different because these started out as sketches and ideas in my head, and then they
Right.
became books, and then they became stage performances and billboards and all that stuff. I still see myself as very small, but during the pandemic, I was tapped and asked, could I write something that would influence children to, or not influence, but encourage children to read. And me and 7 illustrators plus our curator, shout out to Dustin, did something. I wrote the words and the poem, which became the I guess the letter front, if you search your chapter awaits, now that's the whole program, not just the poem. And then 7 people from Lucas County saw those words and created something with them. Last week, I went up to the historical department on the 3rd floor department because I have a habit of signing everything. So I'm somewhat of a graffiti artist myself. And the curator saw me of the actual historical society. Like when you go in, search Toledo history, these are posters, this date and this time. So they're there, literally being part of Toledo history. And I'm thankful and appreciative of everybody involved. I know there is plans and talks for more to come, and that's all I can say on that. But this was the first of its kind ever in the city of Toledo, or any library that they knew of outside of museums like Art Institute. So we brought something here and people have appreciated it. I've seen it in businesses and museums. Remember, when you do get a poster, post it on your social media, because it shows how much, even though this is some of the worst times we've ever faced, how much we're connected to each other, even if this with a poster and something that you liked and shared together. I just completed my first piece since pandemic last week. And I think, you guys saw it and everything like that. So finishing that let me know that I can keep going on, because it's been since February since I've created something. And art is hard. Art is something that is personal to that person's experience. And in this world, especially with the holidays coming up, you want something that is something nobody else has. I know we got brands and little swooshes and stuff like that, but if you get something directly from the hands of your living artist, whose money and impact goes back into their community, it just might save it.
All right. Hey, Jody, look, I think that I'm getting the sign that we're going to take 30 minute break. A 30-minute break, man. That's what I do on my job. As soon as I punch in, I hope my boss isn't watching this again. All right. So let's take 30 seconds. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap up with anything that we missed from Ruth and Julian, and we're going to wrap up with our 5. Well, I don't know about that, but we're going to close out with 5 minutes of heat.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Hey.
What?
All right. Hey, look, we are back. All right. We are back. Hey, you didn't catch me that time. Last time I was caught sleeping. I knew the countdown was coming. So as you see, we're back. Hey, we're going to start wrapping it up. We got some last minute words from Julian. I think we got some last minute words from Ruth. I got a couple of things that's going on in the community that I think everybody needs to know. Let's start with Julian, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay, so there has been a delay with the absentee ballots. They're supposed to be on their way, but there is a delay. What I will say is that early voting is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday this week. And so I highly suggest it is safe. It's safer than going to the grocery store. Depending on what time you get there, you might want to bring a chair, but make sure you get out and vote, because there is a deliberate effort there's a deliberate effort by the neo-fascist authoritarian in the White House to try to make it so your voice isn't heard. Right. And if that person has their way, they will make it so that people like us are considered terrorists. All right, people who are protesting for for Black Lives to Matter. It's already trying to be done. So literally, lives are on the line. We must get this neo-fascist authoritarian out of the White House. But on every single level, these elections matter. So make sure you get out to vote.
All right. Well, that was okay. All right. Oh, all right. Julian.
Should I have kept going?
No. I'm like, who are you? Who are you? And what did you do with Julian?
I got nothing.
All right. All right. Hey, listen. This Friday is October 16th. 25 years ago, I went to Washington, D.C. with 2 million other black men and women, even though it was the day for the brothers. Hey, you're not going to stop black women from doing what they need to do.
Nope, you're not.
They've been holding us down since we were brought here. In October 16th, 1995, it was my 4th year being a member of the Nation of Islam, and I've never been a part of any march. And this Friday, October 16th, 25-year anniversary of the Million Man March, it's the day of atonement, that we can atone for us as black men not meeting the mark. All right, we can reconcile with our families, our friends, and our loved ones, and make amends for some of the things that we've done. That's how we're going to improve our community. And there are a lot of young people, there's a lot of babies from these brothers that were there. My sons are a product of someone that went to the Million Man March. Julian, because I'm with him. CSRN is a product of the Million Man March, taking responsibility and making our community what it is today. So be mindful of that. We're going to have these newspapers in some of the stores. You might find some of the brothers back out on the corner with the Final Call newspaper. The Million Man March led up to the Million Family March and the Millions More movement. And 5 years ago, we participated in Justice or Else. And that was a declaration that we don't have to ask permission to do good. We don't have to ask permission. We don't have to rely on our politicians, our preachers, pastors, and professionals to do what needs to be done. There's a new group of leaders now, and they don't have to focus group on what's going to sound delicate in the ears of our former slave masters and their children. So long live the spirit of the Million Man March. And I think that's it for me. I think we've got Jody with something.
I can't wait to hear the end of this story.
All right.
It's been a couple parts to this.
Yeah.
Come on, brother. Bring it home. Bring it home.
So, for those viewers out there that don't know, every week we do 5 minutes of heat, which is kind of traditionally, although we do have interjections from other poets and artists and stuff like that, but me spitting poetry for 5 minutes or performing poetry for 5 minutes. During this time, 4 years ago, when we were facing this same thing, I wrote a story, a short story. It was about the election and everything that led up to what I did in 2016 with canvassing for the everything, what we've done with Black Lives Matter, with going to Flint, with all of that stuff. So throughout this story, which is also one that connects it to book 1, which is about domestic violence, suicide prevention, relationship trauma, life, and other things, being that is the first title, and this is Domestic Violence Month. So please, if you're out there and you know somebody, or it is you, speak to somebody and get help, okay? Everybody
Don't pay attention.
But anyway, if you know somebody, reach out, talk to somebody. You don't have to be abused for somebody to love you.
That's right.
So we're going to go back 2 sentences from the last one. This is part 3, which is the final, kind of give you guys a catch up. And this was published January 25th, 2017. As she walks back into her apartment, a strange sense of calm overtakes her as she listens to Trump's voice on the TV in the background. She walks to the great table where she left the cups to drink. As she drinks the first coppery glass with its coppery, bittery taste, she thinks about the protest she was involved in over the summer, the people she met, the friends she will never see again, and how she wanted to be better. Now her getaway is beginning to take full effect, and she can feel the tingling in her fingertips and toes. She takes the second glass, knowing that she doesn't have much time, and screams, I'm gonna edit this out, but Blank you, Trump, drink up. As she hurls the second glass at the TV. The last thing she saw was the screen exploding. 2 weeks later, the door to the 5th floor apartment C3 is kicked in. The door was barricaded with the empty refrigerator that had a tattered note, paper towel to it, on the door, reading, F you, Trump, you can't grab this blank. The lifeless body of Miss Clark, as the only thing in the building was the lifeless body and the smell of Miss Clark, scorched around the TV screen and the building for 3 months, until they too became a distant memory. The medical examiner report reads, name, Denise Clark, sex, female, age, 23, cause of death, overdose and lead poisoning, next of kin, none, case closed. A young woman died today. No one shed a tear because she overdosed out of fear. So, this was 4 years ago. It's kind of reminiscent of what we're facing now with protesters and organizers and people trying to fight for the world to be a better place, but sometimes it doesn't. I can say my statements on this as just like with the census as we were talking about. That was 4 years ago. Imagine going through everything that we've had, like 2020, condensed into 10 years. That is what will happen if you don't decide to live, decide to vote, because there are people who will miss you when you're gone, even though you don't think about it. You affected somebody's life by living, good or bad. They learned from that experience. And I hope that we have learned from the experience of 2016 to change the way we vote, the way we cooperate with each other, our unity amongst all colors, races, creeds, backgrounds, and everything to build that better world we want. Because we may never get to see it, but we deserve for our children deserve to see it. If anything, if you don't get to see it, let your children see it, because they need more if you didn't get it. All right.
That's deep. That's deep.
Well, I think that we can close out now with our solidarity pledge and hoping that everybody take heed of that poem, of that reading. And if you feel anxiety, if you feel nervous, fear, that you can get help.
That's right.
That you can, there is help for all of us that protest, that advocate, that scream out for justice. You can get help. Julie.
Oh,
Drew. Who's gonna
everybody say aye.
Aye.
Say your name.
Brother
Drew.
Washington.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive
To love my brothers and my sisters.
to love my brothers and my sisters
As I love myself.
as I love myself.
I.
I,
Say your name.
Drew.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive
To study to improve myself.
to study to improve myself
Spiritually.
spiritually,
Morally.
morally,
Physically.
physically,
And mentally.
and mentally
For the benefit of myself.
for the benefit of myself,
My family.
my family,
And my people.
and my people.
I.
I,
Say your name.
Julian,
Pledge to strive.
pledge to
To
strive
be a part of the solution.
to be a part of the solution,
The process.
the process,
And not the problem.
and not the problem.
I.
I,
Say your name.
Drew,
Pledge to strive.
pledge to
To
strive
give all that I can spare.
to give all that I can spare
Of my time.
of my time,
Strength.
strength,
And energy.
and energy
To achieve.
to achieve
The above said.
the above said.
Now give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah.
All lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. Justice or else. Peace. All power to the people.
All right, great job, great job, great